Good evening everybody, it's Lindsay from the Vintage Button, and today we're going to do some slow stitching. I didn't do a slow stitch video on Sunday, and I think I've missed one other Sunday and then did one on a Monday. But I found I run out of steam at the weekend and I just needed to do homey things, and as much as I love sitting and chatting and crafting, I run out of steam, and that's okay. So we're going to do something now. What I did do though at the weekend was I did this. Okay, we're going to make a blooming pocket, which is it's kind of something that we do, or I do, in my junk journals. I can't even find an example for you because I've taken all my journals downstairs. But I make envelopes out of paper, and I'm just thinking, have I got any more examples? Here we go. So this is one that's not been stitched up, and I just thought at the weekend, oh, I've got two here, why don't I do what I do in my junk journals but in my slow stitches? I mean, I kind of do that anyway because I think one thing lends into another, and I started using my stamps. So I thought, okay, I'll have a look at some of the little things that you make to put in your journals and see if I can slow stitch them. So that's what I've done here. And I often use envelopes. I have like, I can get you these. I've got lots of stencils of envelopes that I've made myself just by folding and cutting the paper until it becomes a shape that I like, and then I just back it onto card, cereal packet, ultimate free chipboard. See, that's an envelope that I own. I have a few of these, and I've just kind of taken it apart and stuck it on the cardboard and cut it out, so now I have that template. There are loads of ways you can make an envelope template, but that's just how I do it. So I bet if you're a paper crafter, you'll either have like a scoreboard that's got a template maker for envelopes, that you would be able to do this. So I cut it out, and then I folded it to how I wanted, pinned it up, and then if I take these pieces out, I will show you. It's a running stitch just around the outside, and I think I did a back stitch on these bits just because it felt a bit more secure, but you could a running stitch all the way around, and I think it looks really nice. And I did think that like you could even like sew an address on the back and use like ribbon, or get a stamp, you know, like a stamp of a stamp, you know, but you could make like a stamp out of ribbon, just cut that down and sort of stitch it around and stitch the postmark on it, or get a stamp and go over it, then stitch over it, and you could put your address there if you wanted. So nice. So this fabric is one of my many samples and as is the flowers. So I was arranging the flowers, and then I thought, oh, I've got these beautiful applique, and I've got lots of them because I got let me just put this back. I've got a set of these things. I think, and I haven't been talking about my giveaway, but I think, have I put one in my giveaway? Did I not? I must have put it in the other giveaway. No, you've got a lovely napkin in this giveaway. Perhaps in the next one I'll add the applique in. But this is the little giveaway box. You've got two different types of journals for if you're a junk journaler, but there's also slow stitch things. There's a pincushion, there's buttons, there's a needle book that is beautiful with like applique bits, there's little brooches, there's all kinds of things, Victorian letters. It's a really lovely bundle of bits and pieces. Do you want to win this? Be subscribed to the channel, like, share the channel, or share the video, pop a comment in the comment, let me know you shared it and where, and introduce yourself. That's all we have to do. So for this bit now, I want these flowers, and I want some of these flowers in there as well. So I'm just going to cut the flowers out first. The fabric will get used, I don't know how old these are. I couldn't be sure, because they could be like, I think they're probably like 50s, 60s. I don't think they're, you know, like, I was going to say, not that old, you know, but that's actually quite old. It's much older than me. I was born in the 70s. But, you know, like, quite some time ago. And they've never been used. They were sat, I bought them, and they were in the box that they came in. Which is a bit sad, really. So they're going to live out their potential in a different way than was anticipated when they were made. Now, do I keep that? I don't think we do. I don't think we need that bit. So I'm just going to cut out bits. I don't know how long we're going to have some slow stitching bliss, but it'll be as long as it is. Shall we say that? Let's cut that way. And then... So it's still starched. Like, never been used. It's quite sad, really. So there was 4 of these large sort of placemats, and then there was 4 small placemats, and then a tablecloth, all with the same appliques on. And I just think they're really pretty. So I'm going to be able to put them in lots of different ways. I don't mind that. We had an alright day. It's Thursday today. I finished work. Had 4 appointments. I thought I was going to have 5, but then I changed one. Well, they wanted it to be changed. I changed it to tomorrow, so now on Friday, when I like to really only have 3 appointments, I've got 5, which is okay. That's alright. I really appreciate my job that I get to work from home 4 days a week and do things like this. It would be really difficult if I had the previous job. I had a really long commute. I have a long commute once a week for this, but 5 days a week, it was a bit much. And it just meant that for myself, for my husband as well, because like he was picking me up, because it's much cheaper to do that, to like be in a car. It should be cheaper to catch buses, but it's not. So we kind of go in and out together. So yeah, I do appreciate that about my job. You can see on the back, I think that's probably hand done. I don't think that's been done by a machine. It's beautifully done. It's really nice, and I like, because there's this blue, it kind of tonally goes together. It's alright, even though they're very different. It's like getting a few things in a bunch of flowers. So I've had an idea for a new project that will be sort of an ongoing project that will start on Sunday. I need like a project tote to sort of carry around just the house, and I was watching, I think it's Kate and her nest, and she has these like work nests. I'll try and find the video. And I was looking, and I wouldn't quite do it the way she's done it, but just that notion of, oh, I've already have everything, instead of buying something, I have in like the bags of stuff that I'll have a look, because we always have an ongoing bag for charity shop. And I'm going to make like a project tote out of a pair of trousers, a pair of jeans. It's going to be quite exciting. I don't think it's going to be that complicated, actually. And it'll be something that I can just continuously embellish as I, like, you know, like a scrappy project that you could just keep embellishing and put bits and pieces. So say I've got like one of these flowers over, I could just pop it onto this tote, just like keep sewing into it. Let's see how many, I don't know how many of these I am going to cut out, but so we've got, I think I'm going to cut this off, and then we will reattach it if we need extra bit of texture. So are we having that in the middle? I thought we were having that in the middle. Putting that on that side. That on that side. And then like that. I'm a bit late. This is my February page in my journal that we made one Sunday. So I am a little bit late to the party, but that's okay. I'm a bit late with getting it completed, but that's absolutely fine. I don't want, my stitching is supposed to be about slowing down and relaxing and not getting worked up about things. I think we're there. Let's see what it looks like on the page. I've got this little bit as well. So this is the journal. That's the outside. It's quite simple, but I quite like it. I might add bits on as we go. I mean, I could like add little bits like that as we go. Then I might not. So that was January's page. Still with a needle. You could use that needle. It's got fabric samples. This is a vintage sort of placemat, tray mat that I've just bought in one of my little travels. This is fabric sample flowers just cut out, and these are from fabric samples as well, and the leaves, just these elements just cut out and then appliqued on roughly. It's very simple, all just sort of straight stitches, a running stitch. I didn't do the French knots, they were already on it. This is just a little embellishment from my stash of vintage notions, and then a yo-yo just to add a different flower. And it's not my best, but you know what, I really enjoyed making it, and that's the point of this book. This is a stamp, my vintage button stamp. That's this one that I use. It's in my logo for YouTube, and I've just thrown it over the table. That's alright, I'll be able to get it. So yeah, I just sort of stamped it on and just went over the writing with my stitching, put some other bits of interesting stitches on. Enjoyed doing that. So yeah, there's a lot going on. I just kind of like did a whip stitch around the outside in a blue to contrast. I used it, I had it, and this is where the little tote will be helpful. I've got it in a cardboard box, and I had it at the side of me. And when last week was really busy, was it last week or the week before? I think it was the week before. Well, no, it would be the end of January. I just sort of dipped into this box, and if I had like 2 minutes, like micro breaks, sometimes in my job I don't get a lunch break, like a full lunch break. I do micro breaks, and I just would do a little bit. Do a little bit of the word, do a little bit, and it's amazing how like things come together over the course of like a week. And then I did some sitting down over the weekend and finished it off. So now this is going to be February's page. So we've got a page a month, and it's just a place to, you know, because slow stitching is just a lovely thing to do. So it's just a place to put my slow stitching. That's all it is. Now, this is where I have a little bit of a quandary, because I was thinking, should I have it like a tip in? No, I don't think I will. I think I'll just sew it straight down. And I'll put February in somewhere along, just to put the month in. I don't really need to, but I might even have it going over the page that way. So that's roughly what the composition is like. Do we put that in? No, I don't think we do. Put it back here. No, we'll have that to the side. So we've got like the lovely paler flowers are towards the back. And then these bits are at the front. So we're not going to get all this done in this video, and I might even leave it so that I can start stitching it. Or should we start stitching it? I think I'll start stitching it. I might do some of the greens. I like the way it's looking. It has the feeling of one of those things that I would do like in a junk journal as a pocket. So in a junk journal I would probably make it so that you could stick things behind some of the flowers like that. You could stick some ephemera in, and then it would be a pocket behind, so I would only glue it down here so that you'd be able to put things in behind as well. That's where the two things work really nicely. I like it. Okay, let's find a green. Let's have a look. So I've got that. Reseda? I don't know. It's one of my vintage colours. I think it'll be alright because it's that kind of green, but I'm going to sew it onto that. I think that'll be alright. Darker green out as well. I've got lots of colours. Those two, yeah, those are my colours. We had a needle, didn't we? We had a needle. What colour should we go in with the pale one first? So I'm quite excited about my new project bag idea. I will have to have a think about it, but that's something nice to think about how I'm going to do it. And I think this book, it'll just be like an ideas book as well. I mean, most of my junk journals are that I keep my junk journals. I don't tend to swap them, or I give them away, but I don't tend to swap them. So I like having my artwork. I've got like a little shelves in my lounge, and I just like having them there as a look back at how my style develops and stuff. And my slow stitching, because I've been slow stitching for decades, and making like, you know, odd, not necessarily following patterns, like I've made quilts out of old bits of fabric, and you know, but not like a serious proper quilter. Just sort of doing what I'm doing, really. Right, so I'm going to take out, I think I do I want that? Oh, let me make my mind up. How do I want this to go? I think I might want it like that, because I want to see the envelope. Okay, so that definitely is going to go over that. Let's get in with this then. So because we can make the back of this quite messy, because we're not going to use it as an envelope. I'll have to do another one. I'm just going to put a simple stitch there, I'm not going to worry too much. She says getting all the cotton. Okay, here we go. It's quite exciting. I always want to do things slightly differently. Just excites me. Let's just do a running stitch here. I need to get my thimble out, I can feel. This is my thimble. I use a leather thimble. It just it's kinda on my hands really. helps me to use it better. So I've got a tray bake in the oven, a chicken tray bake. Well, it's not quite a tray bake, it's in my like Le Creuset. You could use it as a tray bake, I guess. In my Le Creuset pot, like my big one, and it has red onion. It's very simple, and frozen peas. It's a Nigella recipe, and like spices and seasoning and whatnot. And you just sort of slow cook it with some chicken breasts or chicken legs. I'd like it better with chicken legs or chicken thighs, but I only had chicken breasts in. So that's what we're having. I like it going off. I don't know if I'm going to go round. I think. What do we think? I like it going off like that. We're going to go round like the outside. Do we need to? I don't think we do. What I am going to do, I'm going to put some like long stitches in here. I might go around with a black, with a darker colour around the outside. That might be an idea. We're just using this. The coloured thread like it's, I don't know, paint, just using it to highlight areas. We'll do that with like the purple. We'll get in with the purple and do something similar. Just using it to tack, because I will probably do this when it's actually on the paint, on the page, because at the minute we're not. But I like that. That's added a bit of nice detail to it. Well, let's put this bit in.
Recording.
Yes, I am recording.
That's the extent of the oven chips. We can cook that, we can do some veg as well.
Yeah, do that. I really won't want many. Miles is just that we decided to cheat and have oven chips, and he's telling me that there's not a lot, which is absolutely fine because I don't really want them. Clearly will though. See, I want to see some of that because I like that stitching. Here we go though. This is what the back's looking like. Are we liking that? I might be pulling bits out to cut out later. I find these vintage threads sort of at charity shops and antiques places. And I've said before, I've bought two cabinets, two small sewing cabinets, like twice, and about 15 years apart from each one another. Yeah, just really nice finds, and bought them for the materials inside rather than the pieces of furniture that they are. They're not actually terrible pieces of furniture. One of them I've turned into my bedside table, and the other one's in the craft room behind me. That looks a complete pigsty because it needs another reorganise. I am getting seriously thinking about getting rid of the bed and putting another table and better storage, because functionally this room is just a craft room. The sofa needs replacing, so I'm thinking like we replace that with a sofa bed, because all our friends are, you know, there's very few of them that are just single, and this is just a single bed, so it, you know, it would be better to have a double bed for friends and family who are coming. Alright, let's see where else, while we've got just a little bit of fabric, a little bit of this thread left. There we go. Let's just do stitch here. Get away with any more. Might just do it. We might just be able to do it. So there we go. I'm just going to not secure it down because it's going to get so much sewing over it. I don't need to put a knot there, I just need to make sure it's tucked. Okay. Let's put the next layer in. I've still not come up with a letter, like an email to send to like furniture places, but I will try to get my head around that. Because it would be nice to have a few more bits and pieces. Now I have that. I could put that. Do we think that might look nice like that, just to fill a little bit of a gap in? What do we reckon? I think this will look very different from the previous page, and I like that idea that like I just use this as an opportunity to try out different things. That still looks like an envelope if I keep that like that. Okay, we're going to stay with this colour for now. Yeah, what did I do with that needle? So I sort of double up this thread. It is actually amazingly strong. It's cotton, and like these I think are from the 50s, and then like 60s, 70s you sort of get more this sort of stuff. I mean, this was brand new when I got it. I had to sort of look, and so many of them were, and they haven't been put on the sewing machine. So like that is where you know it's sort of been put onto a sewing machine. Yeah, Mercer size cotton. Wonder what that means. I'll have to have I'll have a play about that. But you can just see the difference in the design. Lovely, absolutely gorgeous. And I would rather, it's like I've said before about like how we spend our money, I would much rather give the little antiques place or charity shop my money rather than, you know, Amazon, and certainly not any of the others. I prefer to support smaller businesses. My fingernails need a good trim. Okay. I'm going to attach that one before I start playing around with these bits. So this is, I don't know if I've still got the label on the fabric, but I think it's a cotton sateen. It feels like a cotton sateen. Oh, here it is, it's here. So it was a piece of fabric sample. What is it? Yeah, it's 100% cotton, so it's a cotton sateen. And that's kind of like what the panel was like. Does it give a... So it would look like that, which actually I think would be beautiful. Imagine that on a wall. So that's going to become a junk journal tag. I might put that in my Bagpuss journal actually. I've been working on my Bagpuss journal in the sort of in the background. I've not filmed any of it. I should film it because that would be good. I'm going to do that first. Start up here and work my way down. I've just said the word should. I don't like that word. I could film a Bagpuss journal video. I may very well do that. I do want to work on it a little bit more tonight, so after I've done this we're going to have dinner, spend a bit of time with Miles, and I'll see what time it is, because instead of watching TV I'd much rather be doing something enjoyable. Although there's a new Jane Austen, well it's not Jane Austen, it's Jane Austen's sister, Cassandra. It's about her, and it's kind of like she's trying to rescue her letters, because you know she burnt a lot of her sister's letters. So Jane Austen's died and she's trying to rescue the letters. So it's on the BBC, but I don't think it's a BBC production. I think it's probably something they've bought in. It's all British actors, but it doesn't quite feel like a BBC production. It's good. But yeah, I'll have to have a look at it. But it's something that's good. My reading kick. I finished. There was Gary Stevenson's like sort of life story. He's on YouTube on Gary's Economics, which is an economics program. It probably is a bit political, so you know I don't really want to. I just find him a fascinating character, because he basically came from South London, very working class family, and if you're not British, or even if you're not Southern, you probably wouldn't know what happened. And the only reason we know South London is because when we moved to Cambridge, if we wanted to, not South London, it's North London, sorry, Docklands area, which is South London as well. It's both sides of the river. But we would stay at East India Docks. If we were going to go into London for the weekend, we'd actually stay in North London at East India Docks and catch the DLR in. So I kind of know, like when he talks in the books, I kind of have a feeling of, I think he was from South London, but I kind of like that. I can see how the area changed. Just from the time it changed, just in we haven't been in since before the pandemic, but I kind of get a sense of the area really. So it's fascinating. It's about him like kind of growing up, and then he goes to a very prestigious university because he's very clever at maths. And he doesn't quite understand, there's like all these unspoken rules and he doesn't quite get it. So he goes, and even though he's ahead of the top of the class for everything, his prospects aren't that great because he doesn't understand all these unspoken rules. And that really resonates with me because I'm very working class, grew up on a council estate and found myself in Cambridge not understanding. I didn't go to Cambridge to university, I went to somewhere in Sheffield. I went to Sheffield University. But yeah, not understanding the kind of nuances. Yeah, it's so interesting. I'm sure it's like this in other parts of the world as well, but in Britain in particular, like kind of class distinction is a big thing. And so the story's resonating in some ways, not in others, because he ends up making millions and millions of pounds betting on recession, basically, because that's what brokers do. No, he's not a broker, he was a trader. See, there was I've learnt so much about the stock exchange as well through reading it. I listened to it on Audible. Yeah. So there's a couple of other books, but they might be a bit political, so I'm not going to say what I'm reading, what I might read next. And then, or I might read a candy floss one, like a kind of brain candy one. I don't know. I'll have a look, because I have got things in my library, in my Audible library. Seeing that's Amazon, I do buy stuff off Amazon. Just if I can get nice resources that already exists. Yeah, I will. So I don't know where I got onto that. It's just that book, and somebody at work, we were talking about it when we had our office day, and I was like, oh, finish that book. And they were, don't tell me, because it has like some twists and stuff at the end. Yeah, just an interesting book. So yeah, I might read the other one that I have planned, or I might read a candy floss one in between. I don't know. What kind of books do you all read? I mean, I have had some people have said before, but do you like non-fiction, fiction? What do you read? I read a mixture. Definitely a mixture. Now, how am I going to go about that? Let's see, I think I'm going to go like this. So I'm sort of using the thread to paint the picture. I'll just get a different colour, green at some point. But it's just easier to just use one colour and just to sort of visualise. I guess it's like when you're making, like you're doing a stencil and you just put one colour down first. It's kind of like that. I think I want to come back. No, I want 3. Leave that at 3. Let's just do one here. That's looking nice. I like it. Right then. Let's run out with this green and then we'll start positioning the others. And then I might leave it there because I can smell dinner's getting ready. Yeah, so TV, we enjoy, so it's all quite British TV. We haven't watched any, like we like the Marvel series when they come out and the Star Wars one. I'm looking forward to Andor coming out because I think that's the best one for a long time. It's like BBC series, there's like been a few documentaries that, yeah, interesting ones. There was an interesting one that it was all about Lord Lucan, which was this aristocrat who killed somebody and then went on the run. That was a really interesting one. I think it was quite a few years old, but we just found it on iPlayer. And then there was another one about Assad in Syria and his wife, because his wife's British. That was very interesting. And then for fun, we've been watching Alan Carr and Amanda. If you're British, you'll know what I mean. They go abroad and you can buy these houses for €1 in countries where like Italy and Spain. So the last one was in Spain, but they have had them in other places. Well, it's been mainly Italy and Spain. Let's have a look what we're doing here. I think we're doing that, aren't we? Go like that. And like that. And then like that. So that's telling me what I need to do underneath all of that. Oh, I like that. I might take these bits off. Take those bits off. Yeah. Can go over the top of that like that. That going in. I'll do it with these longer bits. That's nice. I like that. I'm going to leave it there because I know my dinner's ready. So what I'm going to do now, or next time I open this up, is I'm going to carry on with this green as much as I want, and I might start sewing it actually onto the thing. I might have to go back around. Yeah, well, I'll stitch it on so that you can't tell I've stitched it on, if you know what I mean. But I'll be going in with these two greens, and then the threads are in a bit of a tangle. I've got this, which is Air Force Blue, but I think it's very purpley. See, it does look very purpley. I thought Air Force Blue was more grey than that, but perhaps it's changed. Again, this is one that's never, I had to unpick it. It was never been put on a sewing machine. It's just such a beautiful colour. The vintage colours are much nicer. So yeah, I'll sort of highlight different bits, and they'll just be little stitches like this, and sort of stitch it down, and then there'll be